I just put this Band-Aid on my finger. I am now an emergency technician or a nurse. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and it's Debsy, and place to be, it's Debsy. Boop, that's me. Boop, Debsy. Hey guys, and happy Thursday. It is Thursday when you're gonna be seeing this. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody's having a wonderful week and had a great day today. Listen, I'm drinking water, by the way. I'm gonna be making 3 videos today on 3 completely different subjects. You're probably gonna see them spaced out. You're gonna see them spaced out over the next 3 days. Possibly, maybe, or maybe not. So let's get right into it. I've been holding this one in for a little bit. Well, actually I've been holding 2 of the 3 in for a little bit. So let's talk. I know I had talked a little bit about, in the past, before it happened, this whole space travel, you know, with the all-woman space crew, and, you know, the 6 ladies who went up to space on seriously, it looked like a giant floating, it just looked like a giant floating penis is what it looked like. If we're being completely honest, it looks like they got loaded into their tight, sexy space suits, because that's what you want whenever you go up into space. Lauren Sanchez, is that her name? Lauren Sanchez? Am I just making up names now? Jeff Bezos's fiance. So I guess she wanted to make sure that they went up, when they went up in space, they went, you know, up sassy, and they went up glam, because that's, you know, what a lot of astronauts, that's what's missing in space exploration and space travel, I guess, is glam and putting the ass back in Astronaut, like Katy Perry said. Okay, so you had the women, you had Lauren Sanchez, you had Katy Perry, you had Gail King, then you had that movie producer, I don't remember her name, but then there were 2 other women that, listen, I'm glad they went up, because they actually at one point worked for NASA. There was Aisha Bowe. She worked for NASA at one point. Amanda Wynn, she also is very highly qualified. She did like an internship with NASA, and she was actually going up to like perform 2 studies, like do research on 2 topics. So those 2, listen, I'm glad they went up. Good on you. I wish they didn't have to go up with these other women, because let's just talk about it. Okay, so they went up, they loaded in the giant, they all loaded into the giant floating vibrator, giant weenus that shot them up into Earth, up into space. And they went to the edge of space. And it was 10 minutes, and boom, then they're back. Listen, there's people who are saying they don't think it was real. I'm not going to say I don't think it was real, because I think it happened, but it was kind of odd that, like, they didn't have to wear any helmets. And also, I would have thought that they would have had to have worn, like, different suits. I mean, I'm all for showing off your figure and wearing stuff that's flattering to your figure, but I'm just saying. And people are like, well, they didn't wear any helmets because they wanted to make sure that you could see their hair floating so that it looked real. I think it was real, but then but listen, you get up there in space, they get up there in space, and the only thing that they're worried about is showing off the little tchotchkes that they brought. Like, okay, I get Katy Perry brought up a Daisy because, from what I understand, that's her daughter's name. But she's doing with the Daisy, like, you know, and then she puts a butterfly that has her set list for her. I can't. For her concert that like just launched. By the way, if you have TikTok, please do yourself a favor and Google Katy Perry, Mexico City. She just started it. And listen, I'm going to tell you, it looks like it looks like in one of the comments, I can't even take credit for this, but somebody in the comments said, it's giving, let's put a play on for our parents. That's what it looked like. Like they had to have had a big budget, but it didn't look like it. Like at one point she was, no. For the song E.T., she looked like she was running while holding in a dump. It was so bad. It's so bad. It's terrible. I'm thinking that because beforehand I thought, isn't she going out on a tour? Is her ticket sales bad? And I thought I had heard that her ticket sales were not all that great. So maybe she paid to get shot up into space to promote that. I don't know. So so they get shot up into space and then they come back 10 minutes later and then boom. Okay, here's another crazy thing. They get shot up into space. Why does the capsule that they come back to Earth in look clean as can be? So there's that, but then they land in the desert and it looked like somebody had opened it up from the inside, which I would think that would need to be pressurized. Because if you're hurtling through space, I would really think you would want that to stay shut. So they opened it up, but then just a little bit from the inside, but then somebody came over and it looked like maybe they told them, no, shut it. Because they wanted Jeff Bezos to come over with his little tool, that's what she said, and try and open up this door and make it look like, oh, this is the first time it's open. So he gets his little tool, that's what she said, and tries and makes it look like he's opening up the door. And then they open the door, they all come out, and you know, I'm surprised that Lauren Sanchez's face didn't just disintegrate because of the fillers up there in space. So they come out fresh as a daisy, and you know, they didn't look like there was no effects of going up into space and kiss the ground and everything's great. Listen, it was afterwards, because there's two people that I'd seen what they said. Katy Perry, they asked Katy Perry what this meant and what it made her think of when she went up there. And she said something like, it has connected me to love. And I finally feel loved. And I finally feel loved and love. And you'll never know what it's like to feel loved until you launch. Okay. You married to Orlando Bloom. I'm going to tell you what. From the very first second, I saw that man as Legolas in the Lord of the Rings, I knew I was in love. I felt the love, and I didn't even know him. You need to be launched up into space to feel the love. Oh, come on. And that's another thing. So what? If you're not launched into space, you don't feel the love? Oh, girl, that was a whole bunch of word salad, a whole bunch. But listen, my disappointment is not with Katy Perry, because, yeah, that makes sense for Katy Perry. But Gayle King, I thought you were better than that. Gayle King really was really upset about how people were reacting to this. And she says something like, well, she says, first of all, you wouldn't, if a man were to go into space, when men go into space, it's not called a ride. It's called a mission. We went almost the exact same trajectory as Alan Shepard, who the capsule that they were in, the rocket ship that they were on, was named after Alan Shepard, the new Shepard. And so we replicated his trajectory almost. So we're astronauts. Listen, I'm going to tell you this much. Have I ever been in space? No. But just because you did the trajectory, that doesn't necessarily mean you're astronauts. For me, and you were passenger, okay? There was 6 passengers there. All right. Astronauts, in my mind, have like a skill where they can push buttons. They can navigate in space. See what I mean? Like if I were to be a passenger in a race car, let's just say I got my chunky ass in a race car and I was sitting in the passenger seat and we went around the racetrack, maybe the same racetrack that, I don't know, Mario Andretti or somebody went around. I don't know any of them. I don't do NASCAR. Let's say we went around the track. So does that make me a NASCAR driver? No. The video that you saw beforehand, what I did in the video beforehand, does that mean I'm an emergency technician or nurse or doctor? Am I a surgeon? I might be. So yeah, you're not an astronaut. And now they're all just like, we're astronauts. I refuse to call Katy Perry a fucking astronaut. I just don't. Okay? I'll say this much. I put a Band-Aid on. I'm a doctor. I've watched several trials with Emily D. Baker. I'm a lawyer. I, in the past, have blown out a candle. I'm a firefighter. Okay? I farted. Not just right now, but in the past I have. So I am contributing to global warming. Do you see? You were a passenger. But here's the other thing. This is what really got me. Whenever Gayle King says, when she's talking about going to space, she says, have you ever been? Now, first of all, I hate when people say, have you ever been? Because when people say, have you ever been? To me, that's like a Richie, like highfalutin. Well, I've been to the south of France. Have you ever been? Well, I've been to Cannes Film Festival. Have you ever been? Have you ever been? Okay, I know it's proper English. I hate when people say that. But she's like, okay, about space travel. Have you ever been? Have you ever been to space? Have I ever been to space? Me? No. And 99.9% of Americans have never been to space, because here's what we don't have. We don't have millions of dollars. People in America are worried about things like the price of groceries, the price of eggs, the price of gas. Should I, do I have enough money to feed my family and also get this medication that I need? It's a little tone deaf. You have this money. You have millions of dollars. So rather than taking a 10 to 11 minute trip into space, I keep saying space because yes, it is higher up than I will ever go, but it's technically at the edge of space, okay? And it took 10 to 11 minutes. I'm gonna tell you, there have been dumps that have taken longer than 10 to 11 minutes, okay? I've been in the bathroom for longer than 10 to 11 minutes. Is it because I have my Kindle or my phone or something and I'm playing, solitaire or something? Sure. But it takes me actually longer to go to and from Starbucks than it does for them to go up in space and come back. So with that money that you used to take your trip to space, you could have been using that money for far greater things to help people, okay? Because there were two women on that trip that yes, I'm glad they got to go up. Good for you. I wish they would have went up a different way. And I wish they didn't go up with like those other three. The movie producer, I don't know. She hasn't talked about it, but listen. She obviously has money. She could have used it on something else. Like, for example, there are some millionaires and billionaires who use their money for good. Like, I just read this. Kendrick Lamar just started his Grand National Tour with SZA. It looks amazing. That's not the point. The point is that all proceeds that he makes from that, I guess like after he pays, his people and everything, he's giving all that money back to 30,000 homeless kids that he's helping out. That's Kendrick Lamar. He's giving his money. Is that a pierogi? No, it's not. All the money that he makes, his proceeds that he would keep for himself, he's giving to help out homeless children in the US. Okay? So there we go. Another example, Taylor Swift, when she was on tour for 35 years with the Eras Tour, when she went into every city, she would make an extremely generous donation to every city's food bank. So you can be a millionaire and actually do some good. Did this do good? No. And people were, and I get that it could be inspiring to little girls who want to go up. However, I mean, the way to do it is to actually become an astronaut, work with NASA, and actually go up that way. Because the way that they did it was like, what it's showing girls is that you have to become a millionaire or a billionaire and pay your way, and pay to go in space. I'm just saying. So, yeah, that's it. When she had said, "Have you been?" Girl, you cannot believe that you were going to win people over and people are going to be okay with you when you say, "Have you been?" When we're in the emotional situation that America's in right now, people are having a tough time affording groceries. people are losing money left and right from their, from their stocks, from their 401k accounts. And you're talking about, have you been to space? Girl, you were a passenger, all right? You're not an astronaut, you're a passenger, all right? So listen, I had to get that off my head, but honestly, if you do go onto TikTok, please type in Katy Perry, Mexico City, Katy Perry tour. I think it's called the Lifetime Tour or something like that. Please go watch it. It is, like I said, it is giving a let's put on a play for our parents vibe. It's just, first I thought when I saw it, I was like, is this like dress rehearsal? Are they just rehearsing? Oh. And then at one point she's singing Roar and she's on a butterfly that's flying through the air very low. Like, I'm pretty sure some of these people in the pit could have grabbed her boot. And I didn't even think it looked like a butterfly. I thought it looked like a bug. It's bad. It's bad. Like, she's doing all of it at once, but nothing. It's bad. Okay, could I do it? No, I couldn't. But still. Okay, in the comments, listen, tell me what you think about this. And if nobody told you yet today, you were loved, seen, and heard, please make sure that you put love, kindness, compassion, acceptance, hope, and positivity out there in the world. And always take care of one another. Be aware of your surroundings. Be smart and safe. Hydrate often with some water. And if you're in a dangerous situation, know that Dolly and I are sending our love, thoughts, prayers, and all types of positive energy your way. Love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Or maybe later. Bye, guys. Bye.